kind of like the Kuna Kunas.
Okay, third graders, we're going to go ahead and get started with our lessons. So this is Monday, August 17th, 2020, and we are doing we're going to learn about what is called properties of multiplication. So multiplication is really special. Here, maybe put your work plan under your bottom.
My bottom?
Yeah.
I'm actually putting it like right there.
Okay, that works too. So multiplication is really special because it can do a lot of special things.
It's like adding grapes.
So let's look at the bottoms. There's 4 different properties of multiplication. So Alex, on your bottom. Alex, on your bottom. All right, so the first property of multiplication is, this is called the commutative property. We have what is called the associative property. We have what is called the zero property. And we have what is called the identity property. Hey, monkey. So these 4 special types of properties of multiplication all say and do different things that make multiplication super special. So one that you guys probably already know, you just didn't know there was a name for it, is called the zero property.
Like the basic thing. It's like multiplication, like 2 times 1. It's
the only thing it's the only thing between the positive and the negative numbers.
So the zero property.
To do it so you don't hear it.
Let's not do it all.
Holy!
Let's not scrape the rock at all. Okay. So what the zero property is telling us what's happening is there's a special force in the world, and anytime you multiply a number by 0,
It's 0.
Alex, no thank you. Anytime you multiply a number by 0, what number do you get?
0.
You get 0. That is called the zero property. Another one that you guys probably know as well is called the identity property. So the identity, what this is saying is, you might get a haircut. Does your identity of who you are change?
No.
If you get a new pair of shoes, are you a new person?
No, it's just because your old shoes are worn out, and then you need to get a new pair.
Right. So your identity doesn't change just because you have something new. So what the identity property is saying is, any number that's multiplied here, I'll hold that for you. Put it behind you. Any number that's multiplied by the number 1, the answer is going to be the other number. So for example, what is 5 times 1?
It's 5.
What is 1,245 times 1?
1,240.
Yes. So that is the identity property. So we've had the zero property, and we've talked about the identity property. Another special property is called the associative property. So I like this picture for the associative property. Is a picture of 2 friends. So you might associate, or you might hang out with your friends. So numbers that go together in math often have parentheses. You guys see my hands? Often have parentheses around them. So, huh? Oh, my cat. So if you ever see some numbers and there are parentheses around the numbers, you need to do what those numbers tell you first before you do any of the other math. So right here, we have in parentheses A multiplied by B, in parentheses, multiplied by C. So these are just representing numbers, are not real numbers. And so I'll show you what with numbers. So if we have the numbers in parentheses 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4. You guys see that? Foster Alex. It's important to pay attention because you're going to be doing this on your own after this. So the number, we have to do the math that's in parentheses first. So what is 2 multiplied by 3?
It's 6.
6. So now
3.
we have 6, and we're going to multiply it by 4. What is 6 multiplied by 4? Alex?
6 multiplied, so 6 plus 6, which would be 6 multiplied 2, would be 12. And if we add another 2, 12 plus 12 would equal 24.
Yep. So 6 times 4 is 24. So
Sometimes I like to do it, so I like to flip the question around, so it's 4 times 6 instead of 6 times 4. And then I will do it like that, and then it will be the same answer anyways, either way.
So this is the associative property. You have to do the math that's in parentheses first. So let's keep these same numbers. So we're still going to do 2 times 3 times 4, but this time I'm going to move the parentheses. We'll space this out. And my parentheses are going to be around my 3 and my 2. So 3, so I have to do this math first. 3 times 4 is 12. Then I do 2 times 12, which is 24. Now in this instance, we ended up getting the same answer both times, 24. That's not always going to be the case. A lot of times, whenever you move the parentheses, you're going to have a different result. And then our last property of multiplication is called the commutative property. And the picture I like to use for that is showing this traffic jam. There's all these cars in a traffic jam. So when people commute to work.
What's worse than a traffic jam? Time hour.
Oh.
Rush hour, I mean.
So when people commute to work, that means that they are traveling to work. So the commutative property is when numbers will commute or travel to a different place. The order of the numbers does not matter. So let's look at an example of that. Your addition math families and your multiplication math families is a great example of that. So like for example, what is 4 plus 7?
4 plus 7?
4 plus 7.
4 plus 7 so
it's
11.
11.
Yeah, sometimes I like to add like a few numbers, the 7 to the 4, to make it equal, because it'll still be the same problem any matter, because you're just, adding some more, like taking the 7 away to the 4. The 7 will be a 6, but the 4 will be a 5.
So what you are doing without even knowing it, Foster.
And then you do the thing like 6 plus 6, and that's 12. So you do 1 below, so that must be 11.
Oh. Well, without even realizing it, you were doing the commutative property. When I look at 4 plus 7, 7 is the bigger number. So to me, it makes more sense. In my head, start with the number 7, add 4. Because 7 plus 4 is also 11. So the commutative property works for addition and for multiplication. So let's look at a multiplication family. Let's say, what is 3 multiplied by 8? It's going to be the same answer as 8 multiplied by 3. What is that, Alex?
So if we added up to 2, then if the 3 were changed times 2, it would be 16.
So we are multiplying.
But if we put more on it, which is 3, that would be
So 16 plus 8.
24.
24. Yeah. So 3 multiplied by 8 and 8 multiplied by 3 is both going to be 24. You're using that commutative property and you get the same answer, the same product. So for your follow-up work, you are going to practice using the 4 different types of properties of multiplication. So one choice is called the Properties of Multiplication book. Alex, move your body here. So you'll read each, and online friends, this is listed online. You read each of these, and then you're going to give an example of that property and name that property. Yes, so for whichever one of these is a commutative property, you would write commutative property, and then you would give an example of the commutative property.
Oh, so you're not actually going to draw a picture.
You can add a picture if you want to. Or choice number 2 is you can make your own properties of multiplication poster. So this is an example that Ms. Bonnie made a couple of years ago. So she has the different properties. She labeled them, wrote the definition, and has an example. So that is choice 2. So choice number 1 is the Properties of Multiplication book, or choice 2, you can make your own poster all about the properties.
1.
All right, so Foster, you want choice 1?
Yes.
Alex, what choice do you want?
Poster.
Okay, so I'm not going to give you a paper for the poster, but these cards are going to be on the math shelf in this labeled thing that says Properties of Multiplication. Okay? Thank you, online friends. Bye.